MUNFU Proffitt, man, something a little different, baby. Look, so a while ago, I had mentioned something in one of my videos because Fredo was rapping about somebody's body looking like a zipper from Scars, right? So I said how my body looked like zippers from Scars, so that related to me. I felt that because I've been stabbed before. So a lot of people ask like for the story, stuff like that. So yesterday I made a comment in my video and I said, yo, I'm gonna tell the story about, you know what I mean, about me getting yapped up. So look, drop a like off top, drop a comment off top because this is gonna help the video. It's a different video, so I don't know how it's gonna perform. So if y'all make it perform, I'll do more like that. I'll tell you about the time I got, you know what I mean, too. So look, this was about 11 years ago. I was in college, kind of, at the time. I went to college in Lincoln, Nebraska, University of Nebraska. Went to school for fashion, textile, apparel design. While I was out there, my people didn't live there. They lived back home in the East Coast, Rhode Island. So I was out there. I went out there a year early because I was going to try to graduate from a school there so I could get in-state residency to go to college. So I left my junior year to go there. After my junior year to go there. So my senior year I was supposed to take there. Long story short, ended up graduating early because I had so many more credits from my school back home that I could graduate a year early. So I literally took zero school my senior year. I graduated when I was a junior. So while everybody that, screw some of the people I knew out there and stuff from being out that way were in school. So I started kind of branching out and kicking it with people that I didn't really know because of social media. I was super popping on Twitter. And I'm going to tell y'all the whole thing, bro, so tune in. So I was super popping on Twitter at the time. And the Twitter that I had at that time, it was a very big account, like maybe like 40,000 followers. And so some people in the city that did rap music wanted me to run their stuff. Long story short, I got involved with them. Started doing some things because we was outside. From that, we went on a few tours. We were doing a Snoop Dogg tour, actually. And when we were doing the Snoop Dogg tour, this is me kind of giving y'all the backstory of the people I was with, stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. But fast forward, doing some tours, I shot video. That's what I did. I did the behind the scenes, shot music videos and all that kind of stuff. So I was on tour with these dudes, and this tour was a Snoop Dogg tour. It was like a 30-city tour. We were winding it up. The last two shows were in Nebraska, ironically. So we going back to Nebraska. One of the shows ends up getting canceled. The show that ends up getting canceled is Kearney, Nebraska. Kearney, Nebraska is another college town. It's a small town. It's like, I would call it a hick town, whatever, something like that, whatever the case may be. But not that many people, but the people that are there for college, right? Cool, good college. Well, we went out there. When we got there, the show got canceled. So me and the homie said, well, we out in Kearney, we got a room, we might as well just kick it for the night. We ended up, that's like maybe 2.5 hours from the crib, where that's at, right, from where we live. So fast forward, we go out that night. We go from one place to another place. The first place, bunk as hell. Second place, a place called the Garage. When we was at the Garage, I was with, I'm going to tell y'all everybody's street names. So I was with a nigga named DVD. I was with a nigga named Six, and I was with a nigga named Deuce. A few other people too, but them the only real people that matter. Deuce was a pussy nigga, and everybody knew that. Everybody in the circle knew that he was a pussy nigga, but he was one of them niggas that would talk and get people in situations. This was that, essentially. At the bar, he had a little static with somebody that he had known from his past. Now, I'm not going to say them niggas' names because they don't need to, but basically, homeboy had smoke with them niggas. And Deuce did, because the dude owed him money. So he wanted to fight him, or he wanted to approach him. And the dude was with his mans. So every time he was trying to approach him, I seen homie clutching. I didn't know what he was clutching, but I seen him. Every single time he walked, I'm very observant, bro. I've been through a lot of bullish in my life. So I see things. My head is on the swivel 100% of the time. So I see him walking by, man's clutching every time. I don't know what he lifted under his shirt, but he going for something. So I'm like, look, bro, like, we deeper than these niggas are, and we know we gonna pack them out. So my mans was like, yo, bro, he was like, listen, if we gonna fight them niggas, we gonna wait till we go outside because we in a club and we not gonna let niggas swing bottles, right? Cool. So whole night, Deuce kind of let it be known that he like walking by him, kind of shoulder checking him, stuff like that. This is why I don't be out with niggas, bro, and this is why I don't kick it with people like this, right? Because me, I handle my biz. I stand on my 10 toes all the time. When I got smoke, niggas know I got smoke. This ain't no questionable thing. So I said, look, we gonna wait till we go outside. We gonna catch some niggas outside. It's cool. It's no big deal. Like, we'll get them. Long story short, we all drinking, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Deuce fell away. So Deuce take off. We standing at one end of the club right here. The door is right here. Deuce standing way back here. I'm with him. I'm with DVD and all them niggas. I literally I see Deuce take off. Deuce start running towards the door. That's where the niggas was standing. He start running towards the door. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga doing? He throw a punch. The moment he throw a punch, like 3 niggas jump like this, literally, boom, start jumping this nigga, packing this nigga out by the door. So I hand my phones to DVD. Now, I'm just gonna say this. This is 100% truth. There's no lie to this story. Some of this gonna sound very wild, but this is exactly what happened, bro. So I handed my phones to DVD. I said, yo, hold my phones. Deuce run off. He getting packed out. A nigga snatch him like this, start punching him. Now, we have one other mans. My other mans, I'm going to just call him Scatter. I'm not going to say his whole junk because he popping. So, Scatter Man, he was there because he'll attest to it. So, it's Scatter Man. He was signed to Strange Music. So, Scatter Man standing by the door where Deuce getting packed out. He don't know that this is our nigga getting packed out. So, I chase after Deuce trying to snatch one of these niggas up because obviously I'm not going to let a nigga that's even in my circle. This not my mans, but I'm not going to let a nigga that's even around me get touched like that because we came here together. That's what you supposed to do. So, homeboy, I grabbed one of the niggas and I cracked this nigga, bro. Like, I punched this nigga so hard he instantly fell to the floor. By that time, niggas started realizing what was going on. So I'm in between the door and a staircase, and I'm literally in the corner. Now, I pulled the nigga off of Deuce, and there's one nigga that Deuce was on top of, pause, against the ground. Hold on, let me turn this camera up. So Deuce got one nigga on the ground. Deuce runs for the door after this. I'm sitting here, there's 3 niggas. I'm fighting 3 niggas by myself. He ran for the door. Scatterman realized I was fighting, but by that time, niggas was already, like, boxing too much that people couldn't even move around. So I literally grabbed the first nigga off Deuce and cracked this nigga. Broke this nigga's shit. Swear to God, on everything I love. I broke this nigga's jaw, one punch. The dude on the ground got up. And when he got up, he went like this because his face was like facing the ground. He went up like this. So I grabbed that nigga like this, and I'm literally holding this nigga, like trying to squeeze this nigga to death type shit, right? And while I'm squeezing this nigga, Scatterman start realizing that I'm fighting now. He's like, wait a minute. This nigga's in a fight because this shit go quick, bro. So the one nigga that I cracked is knocked out on the ground. And I literally see out the peripheral in my eye, my man's just literally beating this nigga to death. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm fighting 2 niggas at this point, bro. And the nigga that got up like this, I had him like this. And as I grabbed him and I'm holding him, I feel like my head go boom. And I'm like, oh shit. Now, it wasn't that I was knocked out. Like I felt like, oh, I got hit, but I thought I got punched. So when that shit happened, I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I let go of the nigga. The nigga that I'm holding like this. I let go of him, right? And when I let go of this nigga, He turns around. My nigga, I cracked this nigga and not literally, swear on everything I love, knocked this nigga out too. This is a true story, bro. I knocked 2 niggas out with 2 punches. When I knocked that nigga out, bro, he was on the ground. I literally grabbed this nigga's face and I punched him. And when I punched this nigga, I literally felt my hand go through his jawbone and his jaw shatter. So this is the second nigga. The third nigga hit me over the head with a glass pitcher. Right? Bet. I felt the glass break. That was when I started stumbling forward. That's literally when I started punching on the nigga because I didn't know what was going on. So at that point, I felt that nigga get pulled off of me because he jumped on my back. My mans had grabbed him. Them niggas was boxing. So I started walking out the club because I started feeling lightheaded. So I'm like, damn, nigga, what the fuck? And my man 6 walks out with me. Like, he walks out at the same time. Like, we walking out the front door. And as we walking out the front door, he looks down at me. He was like, yo, cuz, we got to get you to a hospital. I'm like, what do you mean? And I look down. Bro, my leg, okay, so I had camo shorts on. My leg, from my belt to my knee was just like, I'm talking the whole leg just wide open, bro. Literally just wide open, my nigga. And I'm like, oh, shit. And as that's happening, I touch my head. Mind you, I had a towel on my shoulder this whole fight. I feel the blood hitting my neck. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm like, oh, shit, nigga, I got stabbed. That in the midst of that scuffle, I got stabbed and didn't even know it. Now, at the time, I knew I got stabbed in my leg, and I knew I got stabbed in my neck. My neck was bleeding like crazy, and that's what I felt. But then my head was just pounding. So I'm thinking that my head's pounding because I got stabbed in my neck. So he run to his car because he had his shit. We go to the rental car. We driving off. I'm going to show you my leg scar. And it's hard to see right here, but this ish goes all the way up, bro. It goes all the way up here, literally. So that's my leg scar. So as I walk out, we get in the car, we get in the rental, we driving. The cops light us up. They go, whoop, whoop. I'm like, oh, shit, nigga, Deuce he was driving. Pussy nigga that ran, he was driving. He didn't know we were on the way to the hospital. He didn't have a license. And the car was registered in DVD's name. And when you get a rental towed, it's like 5 bands if the person that's not driving it is caught not driving it. So I said, all right, bro, look, I'm going to just get out the car. They're going to see me and they're going to know, all right, like something's wrong. So when I get out, just take off. They're not going to fuck with you. So that's what I did. So I got out the car and I'm like, look, I got my hands up. I'm like, look, I'm bleeding. I'm trying to go to the hospital. And he's like, put your hands up, put your hands up. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? They treat me like I'm the nigga that did this. So they tell me we got a report that somebody got stabbed. And I'm like, I'm the nigga that got stabbed. Now, nobody called. The bar called and said somebody got stabbed because they seen it. Mind you, it didn't even register in my brain that I was cut up like this. So the cop is like, oh my God. All right, look, just relax. I'm gonna sit you on the back of the police car. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm sitting in the trunk and I just literally tell this nigga consciously. I had got my phones back from DVD and all this. So I tell him consciously, I'm like, bro, I'm drunk. I told him, I said, bro, look, I'm drunk. But I'm not drunk where I don't know what's going on. So you gotta tell me, if you think, nigga, I'm gonna die, I need to call my people and let them niggas know I'm gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, please just, and he was like, no, I don't think that. I'm like, bro, you're not just saying that so I don't freak out, right, bro? Because I'm very calm right now. He was like, nah, I don't think so. It just seems like you're just cut very bad. I'm like, okay, cool. So he's holding my head on the back of the police car. Man, I was trying to keep this at 10 minutes. He's holding my head on the back of the police car like this, and I start getting lightheaded because he's putting pressure on my thing, and I'm like, yo, son, I'm about to yak. So after that, I yacked everywhere. And he was like, oh, my God. He was like, yo. And after that, I was instantly not drunk no more. So I was like super hyper aware. Long story short, ambulance came, get in the back of the ambulance. I'm asking them the same thing I just asked the cop. They like, nah, you good. They start cutting my pants off, They was basically already cut from the leg up, big ass hole. My jaws was cut and all that kind of ish. So they're like looking at me. They're like, okay, we got to get you stitched up, boopty boop. You might need surgery. I'm like, all right, bet. So I get to the hospital. They try to cut my damn Gucci belt off. And I was like, nigga, you're not going to cut my belt off. So they had the IV in my arm. I literally took the IV out myself. They charged me for this twice because they had to poke me with the IV again. So I took the IV out, literally undressed myself. The only thing I had on was like a wife beater and my drawers, what was left of them. I get to the hospital. They called a plastic surgeon and they're like, listen, we need you to come down here immediately. Mind, just like 2 a.m. in the morning. So like this dude at home sleep. Like, we need you to come out here immediately. They're calling everybody, all the ambulances coming. I'm confused on what's going on. So when I get there, they tell me that they had to call a plastic surgeon, 2 plastic surgeons, because the dudes that I fought, I broke their jaw, and they literally needed reconstructive jaw, like immediate reconstructive jaw surgery. Their jaw was completely shattered. So the two dudes that I punched, I broke their jaw. And so when the cops came to get me, they thought I was the person that stabbed the person and was trying to get away. Whole time I was the person that got stabbed, and the niggas that I got stabbed were getting reconstructive surgery. The crazy thing is you can literally look this up in Kearney, Nebraska. So it was in the newspaper and shit. So these people were getting reconstructive surgery while I was getting stitched. So the cops came to talk to me, and I was just like, I don't know nothing. Like, I don't know nothing. I just got in a fight, and this is what happened. That's all I kept saying. So they were like, how did you get into the bar? And they took my ID. Whole time it was a fake ID. It was my man's ID. So they were like, they let you in with this, all this kind of stuff. So they took my ID. And at first they were kind of like pressing me. And I was like, yo. And then once they put 2 and 2 together, because the other dude they had arrested, the third guy that they were with, they had arrested him. So when they was asking me, they're like, yo, they asking my friend, they're like, yo, what happened? And they just said the same thing I did. They said, I don't know. We got in a fight and this is what happened. Like, when I say this is what happened, I'm saying we got in a fight and I'm here now in the hospital. That was it. That was all that was said. So they're like, okay, cool. They're like, well, the people that you got in a fight with are getting reconstructive surgery. So if you're the person that got stabbed, then you're lucky. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. So they left it alone. The doctor stitched me up. I had like 5,000 stitches in my leg. I'll show y'all my neck and my head. This is my neck and my head. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I got stabbed in my neck, my scars in my head. From here to here I had staples. Here I had stitches where I got stabbed. I got stabbed in my arm. You can see it right there. That was not crazy. Mind you, I didn't even know I got stabbed in my arm. They rolled me over. They're like checking my body, like to see where my punctures were. And they were like, oh my God, you got stabbed in your arm. They're like, you got stabbed in your neck. And I was like, oh shit. So they stitched me up. They put staples in my head from like literally the top to the bottom. Had them in for like 2 weeks and got them out. And that was that, bruh. Yeah. Wow. I didn't really leave out too much detail. A couple things I really couldn't talk about, but outside of that, though, that's like 100% the story. I got stabbed up, didn't know I got stabbed, had like 5,000 stitches. The guy told me this is the most stitches he's ever done, and he was a literal plastic surgeon. He said that's absolutely insane. My thumbnail picture will probably show it better detail and stuff like that. It literally looked like a zipper. Same thing, all of my scars, even my neck. I don't know if you could really tell by the camera, but you could see it. I literally cut my hair so I could do this. I was like, yeah, bro. It was wild. Like, it was definitely wild situation. After that, a few years later, I kind of left all the street ish alone. Like, stuff where I was like, you know, like on some bully ish. But yeah, even though that was a situation that could have been avoided, it happened. But that's why I don't be around pussy niggas now, because there was only one nigga in the situation that wasn't a pussy, and that was Six. The rest of them niggas was pussy. So, well, Scatterman neither. Scatterman and Six are the only niggas that even held me down. So, realistically, bro, that ish could have been way worse. So, like, when everything was all said and done, I literally was not too upset by it. Like, I think it's more of, like, traumatizing in the sense of, like, don't ever let somebody get to you like that again. After that, I kind of be like, yo, the moment a nigga gets to moving too fast, I'm gonna get the boop boop. You know what I mean? Cause just can't trust Ish, bro. But yeah, man, got cut up, man. You know what I'm saying? That was the story. It was way longer than I expected, so I apologize for that. But yeah, bro, y'all want to hear about the time I got banged too? You know what I mean? We can talk about that too if this do well. MUNFU Proffitt. That's the story. Little hood story. Reality 5000. Drop a like. Grr, bow.